The GTI moniker has been attached to some legendary vehicles, the Peugeot 205 GTI, the Golf GTI, and now we, in the boat world, have one of our own, the Galeon 435 GTI. And if you like the idea of the outboard powered 435 GTO, but not the idea of all the fuel it's going to use, well, this could be the answer for you, because it's got a pair of diesel engines. And fuel efficiency aside, there are some other benefits to this layout as well, as I shall now show you. I'm Jack Haynes, welcome to YachtBuyer. Now actually a lot of the new stuff actually happens back there, but I thought we'd have a bit of a refresher on what the rest of the layout offers, and this is just a fantastic living space up here, especially this seat. You've got triple recliners with the armrests and cup holders built in, but here I've got charging for my phone, I've got a couple of cup holders, and I've got control of the music from up here, so I can change track, turn up the volume, turn down the volume. This would be a really good place to take yourself away on a sunny day. You can also arrange a table here. The table back there in the cockpit can be moved up and slotted here if you do want to dine up here. Obviously you've got your anchor locker as well, and this wrap of seating forward, so it's quite a sociable space as well. People can sit looking that way, they can look back into the boat. And another unique aspect of this design, no side decks, just this really nice wide walkway on the port side that leads back to the cockpit. There are no side decks and there are no steps across any of this deck either, which makes it such an easy boat to move around, and you can separate this area off when the boat's at sea. So you can close this window, it's got its own little section of sunroof, so that will eventually join the top of the windscreen, and then it's completely sealed off so it's nice and safe when the boat is on the move. This is a great spot. This was on the GTO and I really like this area because you can drop the windows down on both sides. You just find yourself drawing up here with a beer in your hand, talking to the person who's cooking, and you've got lovely views out over the water as well. It's opposite the helm station. I mean, this is directly brought over from the 435 GTO, which is no bad thing. I think this is a brilliant helm. Triple MFDs, that's an upgrade, but it's really nice to have on a boat like this. These seats, as standard, are fully adjustable up and down, but you can upgrade to make them fully adjustable forward and backwards as well. But it just means that all three passengers can set these seats to whatever height they like. There are so many buttons to push, everything moves on this thing. If you like your push buttons, you're going to enjoy this boat. But because it's got a bolster, it's already quite flexible, and I've already adopted what I think is a great driving position. Leaning here, wheels lovely and close, throttles underneath my hand. The IPS joystick, of course, that's a big difference. Yes, the outboard has got joystick, but you've got IPS inboard here. You still have that joystick control, which I think a lot of people will like. The option to have a bow thruster as well. Should we push some more buttons too? Because of course we've got the sunroof overhead. The only problem is actually finding it. Here it is. So that's a much bigger panel, but with all that closed up, you are fully protected. This is my favorite button though, because if you want to adjust the steering wheel, of course you do it with a button. There you go, steering wheel. So as well as being able to actually adjust the angle, you can adjust the height as well. That really is not something you see every day on boats like this. I'm going to drop this down because that looks a little bit silly now, doesn't it? So yeah, whatever shape you are, whatever size you are, you're going to be able to get comfortable at this helm. It's a really good space. Now moving amidships, we come to the main living area, and they've made a good update to this system here. So this is actually really clever. It's a two-way seat. It's obviously in eating mode at the moment, but on the GTO, you had to do this, manually lift this big system up and flip it so it faces that way. They've now made it a push button. So it's not all that fast, but you can see eventually this goes all the way this way. The backrest comes over this side, and you've got 2, 3 maybe more seats facing forward. So when you're in travel mode, that's really, really valuable. And it's opposite this wet bar, which is where the TV lives. There's another button to push. So that will just emerge from there. And obviously that's arranged opposite this seating area, which makes perfect sense. But it is behind the grille, and what a grille that is. That is a really good size, isn't it? You've got space for another one here if you want, but it's nice to have some prep space. I like that include the chopping board up here. This is also where there's a fridge. You could do with a little bit more fridge space, given the type of boat this is. The amount of seating, the amount of people you can comfortably carry. It's a party boat, so that's not huge, but you know, I'm sure you'll make do. And then we get to really where the main bulk of the new stuff is, in the cockpit. This seat is also carried over from the GTO, and it's not motorised like that one, unfortunately. It's quite stiff. I mean, it's a simple mechanism, but yeah, it takes quite a lot of effort to face the other way. But of course, the point is then, if people are dining out here, you've got another couple of seats where people can sit. It's not quite up to the table, but it does mean you can sit under this protection and have a nice view out over the cockpit. Note how wide this aperture is as well. These doors slide all the way across, which is so key. You know, they really want these two areas to all mingle together. You bring in the balconies, you bring in this seating, so that nice wide opening is really important. The other thing you've got up here is, of course, lots more buttons to push. This one does the mast. If you've got restricted air draft somewhere you're going, of course you've still got to get up there and do the VHF aerials manually, but that does make this process a little bit more simple. And on this side, more buttons, of course. We've got balconies on either side. They'll fold up clearly when the boat's going to go on the move, but you've also got a nice sun awning, and that is a one touch, so I can just leave that running. But of course that pops out and provides really nice shade if you are dining here, because you can see there's space for some director's chairs. If you do want to sit on this side, this table folds up to be a little bit smaller if you're not dining. But this, again, it's manual and it's a bit of a two-man job. You can flip this the other way, slide it, and then it extends to create a sun pad facing that way. And this is what you don't have on the GTO. Obviously, that's got three big outboards gobbling up all this space. Split platform. This is hydraulic, so it drops down into the water with some steps as it goes down. It's also got a lift capacity of 500 kilograms, so you could have something like a Williams Minijet on here, a proper tender for a boat of this style. And this is really where you see the big difference over the GTO. This is the benefit. Of course, you've got IPS propulsion, you're running on diesel, not petrol, but you get this lovely big extra living area. You can imagine it, can't you? Drop this down into the water, you've got your steps up to the cockpit, balconies out, toys tied off the balcony, go into the cockpit for a bit of shade, have a bit of lunch, grab a beer from in the galley. It does transform into a really good party boat. Before we check out the engine room, let's go and have a look at the interior. The layout down here is identical to the 435 GTO, which is no bad thing, because for a boat of this style, it works really well. I've talked about it being a big, fun day boat, but this is genuinely comfortable sleeping accommodation, and it includes a small galley. You can't really cook down here, but why would you? You've got that bar up there, but you have got a microwave, you've got your fridge as well, sink over here, some storage underneath too, and look at the headroom down here. Really, really comfortable for me at 6 foot to stand in here, and light is great as well, because you've obviously got this big hatch overhead, but window, and then the window in the side of the hull, so you're drawing a natural light and you can see out when you're down here as well, so it doesn't feel like too much of a cave. Opposite me is the toilet compartment. That's shared between the bathrooms. It's also the day head, but again, it's a really good size and it's big enough to have a separate shower cubicle, and I'd say the quality is really, really top notch. It is on deck. Lots of the stuff you come into contact with, stainless steel moldings, feel really, really solid, and it's the same down here. It does hang together really nicely. But as we're this side, let's start, I think, amidships with the guest cabin. Now, yeah, headroom is fine here. It's a little bit tight for me to move around if I were to get changed, but you can stand up here comfortably enough. Down here though, obviously you lose a lot of the headroom because we're now underneath the cockpit, but there's nothing wrong with the sizes of the beds here. This is sort of a big single. You've got a standard single on this side, storage on either side as well. Not really hang storage, but nice deep drawers. You've got a bedside table, sockets, air conditioning controls as well if you've got air conditioning fitted, and it's really nicely decked out. You know, the underlighting is really subtly done. You've got this nice detail on the bed head, your reading lights as well. So yeah, it's a little bit cramped, but it's finished to a high standard. Moving forward, we come to the owner's cabin, and this is more like it. There's much more space in here, certainly in this lobby area. Very easy to stand up and you could get changed there quite comfortably. It does lack hanging storage though, so you have to fold your clothes up, but there are lots of drawers and little cubbies dotted all the way around, and you've got nice big drawers underneath the bed too. Could do with a little lip on this top. This is useful space, but you can't really leave anything on it because this is a fast, agile boat, so it's all going to slide off at sea, so a little lip there would be good. And you don't really tell in here because we're obviously inside a shed at Dusseldorf, but you've got really good natural light. There's a blind here, don't worry, and you can see you've got popper blinds here as well, but they've got glass all the way around. Nice comfortable double bed. It's wide, but there's still nice flat space to get into the bed of an evening, and then you've got repeaters down there as well, sockets, switches for the lights, and again your air conditioning. So if you're in bed, you don't need to clamber all the way out to get to these switches to turn the lights off. The last thing is Huge TV in here as well. I don't know how often people are watching TV in bed on boats, but if you want to, you've got a good sized telly here. Right, let's head to that engine room. Engine room access, not something you have to consider on the 425 GTO, the outboard one, but here on the GTI, it's underneath the deck. The engine they've gone for on this inboard version is Volvo Penta IPS650. There's whispers there may be a stern drive version on the way, but for now IPS is all you've got, and that's 480 horsepower per side, for top speed around 35 knots and a cruise of 25 knots. And if you want performance, the outboard one is for you. That's a 50 knot boat, so you are losing some performance with this version, but as I said, it's more about efficiency and sort of longer cruising capability. The space itself, pretty good. I mean, headroom isn't great because it's not a very big boat and we're underneath the cockpit here, but it's very easy to inspect the engine room from this position, and crucially the day-to-day stuff, things like the dipstick, the belts, the raw water strainers on both sides are easy for me to get to. The things you're going to be checking regularly are absolutely fine, and even the IPS pods, which actually aren't fitted to this boat because it's inside the stand, would be easy to get to as well. So yeah, it's pretty good down here. Developing this model was an easy win for Galeon. Though we had a lot of the work done, the GTO is a proven platform. It's all well and good having 3 outboards if you live in a land of cheap fuel. If you don't, then this diesel version is the answer to that. And it's not just having diesel engines. The fact that you've gained the bathing platform, which obviously gives you a really nice way to enjoy the water, but also a way to carry a tender, which you can't do on the other boat. It really adds more to the package than just having a different type of propulsion. But let me know, which one would you go for? The GTO or the GTI? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching that tour. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see our tour of the GTO version, we shot that in Miami. I'll put that for you up there. Have a watch of that if you like. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do that by clicking up here. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack Haynes. This is YachtBuyer.